for all of the AP Art History kids, we're going to be going over the summer homework. Trust me guys, you guys are gonna love this class. It's one of my favorites. Miss LaPrade is amazing. She's just so funny and engaging, and she's one of the best teachers at Heritage. So the summer homework is a little bit different than when I took the class last year, but it's actually a little bit easier. So you guys are going to make flashcards for Unit 1 and 2. I did all the units. So if you go on her website, she has a link that says Summer Homework Explained. Read this first. Do read this first. She posts a lot of things like that, especially during distance learning. It's always like, week 1, read this first. And then it's just thorough explanation and details. She's amazing like that. So if you go to the guide, I have it up on my computer over here, it tells you there's a little bit of special instructions for some of the cards. Some of them have more than one picture, so some of the ones with multiple pictures, the pictures can all fit on one card, but some of them, they have to be spread amongst different cards. So if you go to the website, you can find which ones have multiple pictures. Now, let me tell you something. When you're doing the flashcards, don't be lazy like me, and if they have multiple cards, don't just write C card blah blah blah. That's what I did, and write all the information on all the separate cards. You need to do that, otherwise you're going to get marked down, because you're going to turn these in with each unit. Well, I don't know how it's going to be over distance learning. I don't know how you're going to turn them all in, but if you turn them in, it doesn't have all the information on it, you'll get marked down, or you'll have to spend time fixing it before the test, which you don't want to have to do extra work if you don't have to, right? Okay, so that is step 1. You have to do Unit 1 and Unit 2 flashcards. She has the images linked in flashcard directions step 1, and so you print out Unit 1 and 2 right now. You don't need to print out everything. She recommends 5 by 8 inch flashcards. I think I might have accidentally got 3 by 5, but 5 by 8 is what she's saying. And then on the back you have to write title, artist or culture, materials, and date. Now that's not hard, it's just kind of a bit of, I'm not going to say busy work because it is useful, but it doesn't require a lot of thought, you know? It just says it on the paper with the picture. Cut out the picture, glue it on, and then write down the stuff on the back. So once you are done with that, you have to do the readings / videos. Do them, I promise you. As the year goes on, you'll start to get lazy and slack off, and your test scores will go down, because Miss LaPrade is sneaky and likes to put little pieces of information that you can miss if you don't do the reading on the tests. So make sure you're doing the reading. You don't necessarily have to take notes at home. In class, you take notes on all of the pieces. So what I was doing is I was taking really good notes in class, because she gives a lot of little details that aren't necessarily covered in the reading that she does put on tests. She likes to put weird little details on tests, so pay attention. I would take really good notes in class and then kind of just fill in some empty things, because usually by the time I got home and did the reading, I had already heard most of the information. There were people who were very proactive and did the reading and videos before we even got to that piece in class, and then it was vice versa. They had heard most of it from the video and then didn't have to take very many notes in class. So right now it just says read, but I would recommend taking some notes, because I don't know how lectures are really going to be that great over Zoom for right now. And then lastly, step 3 is vocab. Now vocab, my first unit of vocab, I messed up because I typed it all up. You don't want to do that. What you should do is just print out the vocab list and write it next to it. It does kind of seem like a lot of work, but you can find Quizlets with the exact definitions right there. Just look up like AP Art History Unit 1 vocab, and you can find a whole list of all the vocab and just write like that instead of copying and looking for all of the definitions. I didn't know that. It took me a while to figure that out. So that's pretty much it for the summer homework. We have 3 steps. Make flashcards for Unit 1 and 2. 2, there's a link to all the stuff that you have to read and watch videos. And then do the vocab. And for vocab, you can find Quizlets with all of the words on it. And once you're done with that, that's pretty much it. Eventually you will have to do flashcards for the rest of the units. I did like doing all the units over summer because then during the school year I didn't have to make them, but that's not required. So some tips and tricks. Now, I don't know if you want to listen to me. I got a 4. I feel like I could have gotten a 5, but I definitely had a brain fart and I can tell you exactly what I missed. So if they talk about changing continuity, you want to talk about the culture that came after it, or before it, not the same culture. Anyways, you'll get to that later. You'll understand it in time. Okay, so my first tip is you want to get your vocab out of the way. Like once it's assigned to you, do it, because I'm telling you, so many people wait until like the night before the test and then they're just staying up, just like writing as fast as they can, trying to get all the vocab done, and they're not really processing the information. And then it's really easy to lose a lot of points on just like matching vocab. Second step, eventually you're gonna have to buy the Barron's book for AP Art History. It's a prep book. You definitely want to buy it earlier rather than later, because if you go through the multiple choice questions, they have multiple choice questions at the end of each chapter in that book. They tend to be very similar to questions on the tests, and so it's a very good way to study for the tests that she gives. They also have lots of information that is just kind of summarized and not super long, like the kind of information that you're gonna get from lectures and videos and Khan Academy and all that kind of stuff. So it's very just condensed and like your Spark Notes kind of. Now this is what works for me. I'm not guaranteeing that's gonna work for you, but I like to take my best notes in class. So her lectures is the best time to get all of your information, because she says so much and she just tells you like these little random facts, which are really good to include in FRQs because it really shows that you understand the topic. If you just have like little details that, you know, most wouldn't know, because Miss LePron does tell you those, and those are good things to take notes down on. And then once you do the readings at home for homework, you don't have to have much to take notes on. Okay, and last thing, when you're writing, because you do get a lot of little 15-minute or 30-minute writing prompts, you want to pretend like you're the Khan Academy people. So right now this might not make a ton of sense, but if you have watched the Khan Academy videos, there are 2 like narrators, and they just sound super like professional and kind of, I'm not gonna say snobby, but they sound very pretentious. I would always pretend like I was them and like write my narration for the piece in my head. And I always got really good scores on the FRQs, that is until the AP exam, but it worked for me because I just kind of got into that mindset, pretend like I was a different person, not boring Adriana, but interesting Khan Academy person. You know, these are just tips that you can have go in one ear and out the other, or you can actually do them and use them, which I think they should help you. Yeah, so that is pretty much it. If you ever are stuck or need any help, you can always contact the Learning Community Project, because a lot of us have taken the course and many people have scored 5s on the board, have scored 5s on this exam, so we're a good resource. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learned something.